Good evening, and welcome to Election Night in America 2020 between President Donald Trump and former Vice President Joe Biden. Tonight, we'll be using the JHK forecast to call each and every state based on those projections. This video won't be conducted in the same format as my other election night videos, as we won't be doing any too close to calls or keeping key race projections for later on. Instead, we'll call every single state as it closes. Let's get started. It's 7 p.m. and the polls have closed in the states of Georgia, Indiana, Kentucky, South Carolina, Vermont, and Virginia, with 60 electoral votes up for grabs. In the state of Georgia, Donald Trump is the projected winner. He will win the state's 16 electoral votes. He has won the state with a margin of 3.5% over the former vice president. And in Indiana, Donald Trump is the projected winner of the state's 11 electoral votes. 15.4% is the margin of victory in Indiana, as Indiana goes red for the third straight presidential election. Donald Trump is also the projected winner in Kentucky. No surprise here, as the president will win the state's 8 electoral votes. He wins here with 61% of the vote. Finally, in the state of South Carolina, and its 9 electoral votes, Donald Trump is the projected winner here as well. As for Joe Biden, no surprises here. He is the projected winner in the state of Vermont, as he has won with a whopping 63.7% of the vote in the state of Vermont. He is the projected winner. In the state of Virginia, a much more important race, Joe Biden is the projected winner here. He was expected to win tonight, and he has won with 52.7% of the vote to Donald Trump's 43.6%. That brings us to the race to 270. Donald Trump is out to an early electoral lead. He holds 44 electoral votes to Joe Biden's 16, winning the states of Georgia, South Carolina, Kentucky, and Indiana, while Joe Biden has won the state of Vermont and Virginia. It is now 7:30 p.m. and the polls have closed in Ohio, North Carolina, and West Virginia. 38 electoral votes are up for grabs in this poll closing. Former Vice President Joe Biden is the projected winner in the state of North Carolina. A stunning victory for his campaign tonight. He will win the state's 15 electoral votes in North Carolina. He has won by 0.2%, winning with 49.0% of the vote to Donald Trump's 48.8%. A crushing blow for the Donald Trump campaign tonight. However, in the state of Ohio, Donald Trump is the projected winner here. A crucial victory. He could not let this state slide. He is the projected winner of Ohio's 18 electoral votes. He has won with 50.2% of the vote to Joe Biden's 45.6%. And in the state of West Virginia, 5 electoral votes. Donald Trump is the projected winner here. No surprise whatsoever. He wins with 64.6% of the vote in West Virginia. He will win its 5 electoral votes. In the race to 270, Donald Trump maintains his electoral lead. He holds 67 electoral votes to Joe Biden's 31. He has won the states of Ohio, Indiana, Kentucky, West Virginia, South Carolina, and Georgia, while Joe Biden has won the states of Vermont, Virginia, and North Carolina. It's 8 p.m. now. This is the biggest poll closing of the evening. 172 electoral votes are up for grabs, with the 2 crucial swing states of Florida and Pennsylvania closing at this hour. A crucial electoral batch up for grabs right now. In Alabama, Donald Trump is the projected winner of the state's 9 electoral votes in the state of Alabama. He wins with 61.2%, a very comfortable margin of victory in Alabama. In the state of Connecticut, Joe Biden is the projected winner of the state's 7 electoral votes in Connecticut. Joe Biden has won in the state with 57.2% of the vote. In the state of Delaware, his home state, where he has represented them in the Senate for a very long time, he is the projected winner there with 3 electoral votes. He has won with 57.9% of the vote in Delaware. In the state of Florida, a crucial swing state, Joe Biden is the projected winner of Florida's 29 electoral votes. A huge victory for him. He has won with 49.2% of the vote to Donald Trump's 48.1% in Florida. A slight margin of victory for Joe Biden there. And in the state of Illinois, 20 electoral votes up for grabs here. Joe Biden is the projected winner in the state of Illinois. He has won by a 20-point margin in Illinois. He is the projected winner there. And in the state of Maine, another swing state, a state though that Joe Biden was expected to win tonight. He wins all 4 electoral votes in the state of Maine. He wins with 51.2% of the vote to Joe Biden, 42.1%. And in the state of Maryland, another one, no surprise here, 10 electoral votes go to Joe Biden in the state of Maryland. He has won in the state by a near 30-point margin, winning 62.6% of the vote in Maryland. In Massachusetts, another one that is no surprise to anybody, Joe Biden is the projected winner of Massachusetts' 11 electoral votes. He has won with 61.9% in Massachusetts, a 30-plus point margin of victory here. Donald Trump is the projected winner in the state of Mississippi. He will win the state's 6 electoral votes. He has won with 56.8% of the vote in the state of Mississippi. In the state of Missouri, 10 electoral votes here. He is the projected winner in the state of Missouri. The president has won with 56.2% of the vote to Joe Biden's 40.7% of the vote in Missouri. And in the state of New Hampshire, a big swing state in 2016. It was one of the tightest races that year. Joe Biden is the projected winner in the state of New Hampshire. He will win its 4 electoral votes. He has won by a little over 5 points with 50.3% of the vote in his column in New Hampshire. And in New Jersey, 14 electoral votes in New Jersey. Joe Biden is the projected winner of all 14 of them in New Jersey. He has won the state with 57.4% of the vote there. And in the state of Oklahoma, Donald Trump is the projected winner. Here, he has won the state's 7 electoral votes with 65.3% of the vote in his column. A large margin of victory in Oklahoma. Another big call. Joe Biden is the projected winner in the state of Pennsylvania. It's 20 electoral votes where Joe Biden was born. In Pennsylvania, Joe Biden is the projected winner here. He has won in the state by 3.5%, winning with exactly 50% of the vote to Donald Trump's 46.5%. And in the state of Rhode Island, 4 electoral votes here. Joe Biden is the projected winner in the state of Rhode Island. 58.5% of the vote. That is how much Joe Biden has won in the state of Rhode Island. In Tennessee, 11 electoral votes. Donald Trump is the projected winner. Here, no surprise, he has won the state with a projected 60.3% of the vote. In the District of Columbia, Washington, D.C., Joe Biden is the projected winner of the district's 3 electoral votes, the most liberal area of the country. He has won with 89.2% of the vote in Washington, D.C. Donald Trump has only won 5.7% of the vote here. In the updated race to 270, Vice President Joe Biden has taken his first lead of the night. He holds 160 electoral votes to Donald Trump's 110. Joe Biden has won the key races tonight so far. We'll see if he can keep this up, but he is looking to be on a promising path to 270 at the moment. It is now 8:30 p.m. and the polls have closed in a single state, in the state of Arkansas. President Donald Trump is the projected winner in the state of Arkansas and its 6 electoral votes. He will win with 61.2% of the vote there to Joe Biden's 34.2%. He wins the state's 6 electoral votes, 160 to 116. That is the electoral vote lead for Joe Biden at the moment. Many states with polls yet to be closed across the country, a lot of vote left to be counted. The second biggest poll closing of the evening, it is 9 o'clock. A lot of key states will be called right now, including the key swing states of Arizona, Colorado, Michigan, Minnesota, New Mexico, and Wisconsin. Out of Arizona, Joe Biden is the projected winner of the state's 11 electoral votes. A big win for Joe Biden in the state of Arizona. He has won the state with 47.8% of the vote to Donald Trump's 47.4%, an extremely tight margin there. And in the state of Colorado, 9 electoral votes. Joe Biden is the projected winner. Here, he will win the state's 9 electoral votes in Colorado. He has won with 52.0% of the vote to Donald Trump's 41.8% in Colorado. And in the state of Kansas, 6 electoral votes. Donald Trump is the projected winner. There, the president wins with 55.9% of the vote, a comfortable margin of victory in Kansas. And in Louisiana, the president, Donald Trump, is also the projected winner in the state of Louisiana. 6 electoral votes here. He is the projected winner of all 6. He has won with 57.9% of the vote in Louisiana. And in Michigan, another big flip for Joe Biden. 16 electoral votes in Michigan. Joe Biden is the projected winner. He has won with 50.5% of the vote to Donald Trump's 45.8%. It ended up being a rather convincing margin of victory in the state. And in Minnesota, 10 electoral votes. Joe Biden is the projected winner here, similarly to how Hillary Clinton was the projected winner in 2016 here. 10 electoral votes. Joe Biden is the winner with a projected 50.5% of the vote to Donald Trump's 43.6%. And in the state of Nebraska, 5 electoral votes. Donald Trump is the projected winner in Nebraska. He has won with 59.7% of the vote to Joe Biden's 35.4%. And in the state of New Mexico, Joe Biden is the projected winner of the state's 5 electoral votes. He has won with 54.5% of the vote to Donald Trump's 40.0% of the vote. And in the state of New York, 29 electoral votes. Joe Biden is the projected winner in New York. 29 electoral votes. And he has won with 60.5% of the vote to Donald Trump's 34.0%. Next, in North Dakota, 3 electoral votes. Donald Trump is the projected winner in North Dakota. He has won with 62.2% in North Dakota. And in South Dakota, 3 electoral votes as well. Donald Trump is the projected winner of all 3. He will win with 61% of the vote. And in Texas, 38 electoral votes. Donald Trump will hold on to the state's 38 electoral votes in Texas. He has won with 51.8% of the vote to Joe Biden's 45.3% in Texas. And in the state of Wisconsin, another flip for Joe Biden. 10 electoral votes in the state of Wisconsin. He is the projected winner with 48.6% of the vote to Donald Trump's 46.9%. And finally, in the state of Wyoming, 3 electoral votes, all going to Donald Trump. In Wyoming, he has won with 68.2% of the vote. Looking at the updated race to 270, Joe Biden is extremely close, holding 250 electoral votes to Donald Trump's 182 electoral votes. All signs point towards a Joe Biden victory tonight. It's now 10 p.m. and the polls have closed in Iowa, Montana, Nevada, and Utah. In the state of Iowa, Donald Trump is the projected winner in the state of Iowa with its 6 electoral votes. He has projected to have won with 49.2% of the vote to Joe Biden's 46.1%. And in the state of Montana, 3 electoral votes. Donald Trump is also the projected winner in Montana. He has won with 53.9% of the vote to Joe Biden's 38.7%. And in the state of Nevada, 6 electoral votes. Joe Biden is the projected winner in Nevada. He has won with 49.9% of the vote to Donald Trump's 44.4%. And finally, in the state of Utah, 6 electoral votes. Donald Trump is the projected winner, as expected in Utah. It's 6 electoral votes going to Donald Trump. He has won with 58.6% of the vote here. Another look at the electoral map. As things stand right now, Joe Biden holds 256 electoral votes to Donald Trump's 197. The vice president is closing down on the 270 number here. We are now at the 11 p.m. poll closing, the final poll closing of the evening, with the states of California, Hawaii, Idaho, Oregon, Washington, and Alaska all to be called. The biggest state of the evening in California, Joe Biden is the projected winner of California's 55 electoral votes. He has won here with 62.3% of the vote to Donald Trump's 32.1%. And in the state of Hawaii, 4 electoral votes, Joe Biden is the projected winner. Here he has won with 68.0% of the vote to Donald Trump's 26.6%. In Idaho, Donald Trump is the projected winner of the state's 4 electoral votes. He is the projected winner with 62.8% of the vote in Idaho. And in the state of Oregon, 7 electoral votes, Joe Biden is the projected winner in Oregon with 54.7% of the vote in his column. And in the state of Washington, 12 electoral votes, all going to Joe Biden. He is the projected winner. There, he will win with 56.5% of the vote in Washington. And finally, the final call of the evening, in the state of Alaska, 3 electoral votes. Donald Trump is the projected winner in Alaska. He will win its 3 electoral votes with 50.5% of the vote to Joe Biden's 37.5%. EP official can now project that Joe Biden will be elected as the 46th president of the United States. We can project that he has crossed the 270 electoral vote threshold. Now we look at the final electoral map tonight. Joe Biden has won the presidency with 334 electoral votes to Donald Trump's 204. He has won basically every major key state tonight. Please make sure to like the video below and subscribe while you're at it, as well as share the channel to all of your friends. Also check out the links to my social medias listed here and in the description down below, and check out more content from my channel here. Thanks so much for watching.